Ladies and gentlemen, we are live tonight for another edition of NASCAR Chase for the Cup 2005 as we are racing at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway for the running of the New England 300, New England 200, and this is going to be the the last race of the custom schedule season for the NASCAR Busch Series. 215-point lead for our driver Greg Biffle coming into tonight's race. He does not have a chance to clinch the championship in tonight's race, so just trying to set himself up still for the final three races after the conclusion of this one today. And we get closer and closer to NASCAR 06 Total Team Control. Of course, the polls have been open in the community tab section of the channel as for to who I am going to race as of right now in the Cup Series, and we'll have polls for the Busch and the Truck Series as well following the Cup poll, and Cup polls, I should say, over the next couple of days. So again, be on the lookout for that, and at the end of tonight's stream, I'll go back through and check out the 5 polls that were in the community tab from today to see who moves on to the next round as far as the fan vote goes. So thank you everybody for tuning in. Like and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content, live race commentary on the race weekends for the real races, video game side during the week with the live realistic commentary as you guys are listening to right now. Derek Booth, Wade Selinsky, Cars One Boy, and others, welcome into the stream. Let's get this race underway. Greg Biffle will be starting on the pole at New Hampshire, and he's going to try to extend the points lead today. Green flag is in the air, and the top 2 in the point standings will start 1-2 to get this race kicked off. Biffle coming off a win at New Hampshire, or at Richmond, excuse me, in the last race on Sunday afternoon a couple of days ago, leading all 250 laps in that race. His most dominant victory of the season so far. Kyle Busch going to get up to second on the opening lap. Greg Biffle will score 5 bonus points leading lap 1 from the pole. And Hornaday trying to get back around Kyle Busch for second place again. Oh, Busch to the inside of Biffle now off the exit of turn 2. Nearly slamming doors. Busch trying to take the lead away from the pole sitter. And he's got it. Biffle's not going to lead every lap in this one, it looks like. And he's stuck on the outside off the exit of turn 2. Gets a good drive off, though, and he's able to hold on in front of the 2 car of Hornaday. Hornaday way up the racetrack. He overdrives turn 1. He's going to lose about 2 or 3 positions, it looks like. And that's going to drop him back to about 5th place. Biffle closes on Busch in turns 1 and 2. Kyle Busch in the 5 looking for his second win of the season. Comes in 3rd in the point standings. Had a DNF and a blown engine in the last race, but he's still 3rd in points by a very, very small amount over Bobby Hamilton Jr., who was in the top 5 in the early going, as I see him back and forth. Biffle had a fast enough lap in qualifying that he actually qualified on the pole in his first lap and didn't even run the second. A little tight right now in the dirty air behind the 5 of Busch, who will be Cup Series racing in NASCAR 06. And the 5 car for Hendrick Motorsports taking over for Terry Labonte, who will move to the 44. I think a 5th Hendrick Motorsports ride, if I'm not mistaken. Biffle underneath Busch into turn 3. He's there. Busch thought about cutting down to the bottom. And Biffle has cleared Busch. Need a 312-point lead after tonight's race to have a shot at locking it up. Yep. That is the magic number, 312 for tomorrow night's race. Not tonight's race, though. Tomorrow night's race will be taking place around the same start time. So we'll see. We have a shot to clinch it up in about another 24 hours if Biffle has a good run today. And he's also probably going to need a little bit of help, too. Because if Hornaday's going to consistently finish in the top 10 both races, then I don't think he's going to be able to clinch it 2 races early. Kyle Busch is putting up a good fight in the early going of this race. Again, he'll take the lead into turn 3 on Biffle. Biffle going to try to cross him over off the exit of the corner. Can't do it. Busch holds the bottom, and he'll lead. Another lead change within the top 2. Two-car breakaway at the front of the field. Now Busch goes wide in turns 1 and 2. Biffle hugs the bottom, down on the yellow line. All 4 tires below it. Trying to get the drive off. Can't do it. Still side by side down the back straightaway. And Biffle will be clear. Should be clear. Off the exit of turn 4. He had all 4 tires down under the apron again, but that time it worked out for him, and he got the drive off. Fastest lap of the race for Biffle so far of a 28.434 in the first 8 laps. Ashton Township, welcome to the stream. Michael Turner, again, welcome as well. Hendrick has 5 cars in 06. Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought the 44 car was a 5th Hendrick entry. And now, I'm not sure if he actually ran that car full-time or not. I'm thinking he might have ran part-time that year when he drove that car. But he'll probably end up running the full season, though, on NASCAR 06. We cannot race as him, because we raced as him on NASCAR Thunder 04. You guys voted for it. You guys also voted for me to race as Jimmy Johnson on NASCAR 05. Jeff Green locked it up with 5 races to go in 2000. That's ridiculous. I did not know that. 5 races early, he locked the championship up. Wow. I don't think he ever won a Cup race. I think he won a couple Busch championships but never won a Cup race. He was a really good Busch Series driver in the early 2000s. He almost won a title in 04, too. He was really close. Had a shot going into the final race, at least. William Windex, welcome to the stream as well. R6R6, welcome. 2-car battle for the lead right now in a breakaway between Greg Biffle and Kyle Busch as the only 2 drivers to lead in today's race, with Busch leading about 3 or 4 laps and Biffle leading barely the most in the early going as we are at lap 12. You are an OG to the channel. You've been here for a while. Won the title by 656 points. I did not know that. That's crazy. I'll have to look into that someday. Whenever I remembered to do it. Only 1 Busch title? Okay, my bad, my bad. I know he competed for a few more. Oh, Kyle Busch could overdrive turn 1 now. He goes wide up out of the groove and into the marbles on the outside. He didn't get into the wall, but he definitely lost time, and Biffle's got about a half a second lead off the exit of turn 2. He's going to give himself a little bit more space. I honestly thought Biffle was going to be a bit faster in this race today. Obviously, he's fast, but I thought he was going to be far and away ahead of the rest of the field on speed. We'll see how the longer run speed goes, but on the short run right now, Kyle Busch is definitely looking quick and very competitive, looking as if, like I said, he may challenge for his 2nd win of the season today. Ron Hornaday is back up to 3rd after challenging for the lead on the opening couple laps, but couldn't get there after qualifying 2nd. But the top 3 right now are the ones who qualified 1 through 3. Busch qualified 3rd, Biffle on the pole, and Hornaday qualified 2nd. El Galloway, welcome to the stream. Enjoyed Sunday. Yeah, it was a pretty fun race for sure. We do a live commentary for the Cup Series race next Sunday as well at Kansas, so you can tune in for that. And I'll also be doing live commentary for the truck race on Saturday night this week at Kansas. So doing both the truck and the Cup race this weekend for live commentary. So be sure to tune in for both of those races. I believe they're both on Fox Sports 1 this weekend as well. I know the Cup race is for sure, and I would assume that the truck race would be also. Mark DeMars, welcome to the stream. 15 laps late, but you're here. Ah, that's not late at all. 200 lapper. Plenty of time left in this one. Should be about an hour and a half of racing tonight. Get done before 10 o'clock. Sorry if I feel a little stuffed up, by the way. I was at the golf course before I went live today, and my allergies started getting to me when I was out there. I also got bit by like 3 mosquitoes, too. So you guys probably can't see from there. I allergic to mosquitoes in the sense that when I get bit, I swell up pretty good. I literally have one on both sides of my neck. They're not that swollen up right now, but I can imagine by tomorrow they will be. I kind of figured with all the rain I had over the last few days that with it getting warm like this for the rest of the week where it's going to be in the low 80s, Kind of assumed that was going to be the case today, especially later in the day. Playing after work. I can't wait for NASCAR 06. I'm getting hyped up, but I'm also sad to see NASCAR 05 go. This is my favorite video game of all time, favorite NASCAR game of all time. And we've been on the grind with this game for a really long time. It's been over a year on the channel we've been doing this playthrough, and it's all going to come to a bittersweet end at the end of the week. Maybe within the next 3 days, really. If I don't get it done by Friday with having the truck stream on Saturday and the Cup stream on Sunday, I know for a fact I'm not going to be able to stream outside of those races on those days. So, if we can't get it started Friday night, we're probably looking at Monday next week. I think I can clinch the Cup Championship in 2 more races. May be able to clinch it in 1 more, which is why I'm waiting to do it, because I want the Cup Series to be finished last. And that's why you've seen a bunch of Busch races over the last, well, half a week or so. I think it'd be fitting, though, if I don't clinch the championship at California in the next race, then I think I have a good shot to clinch it at Bristol, which is the 3rd to last race of the year. And what better way to finish out my favorite NASCAR video game than on my favorite racetrack, and my favorite race of the year, the Bristol night race. Dare Keegan to grab a live Hornet's Nest. Why would I do that? I'm not doing that for content, I can tell you that much. Love learning NASCAR history from the channel. Thanks, guys. Yeah, we're all about it. Telling random stories, live realistic commentary, watch some racing. Get it all on the channel. Some history, trivia fact every night. I miss old lug nuts. They fit in your mouth easier. Welcome to the stream. I don't know where you come up with these names. Like, do you just like sit on them for... It's like, oh, should I use this one? Or do you just like... I don't think you think about it much, to be completely honest. Because there's some of them that I haven't said all the way through because I shouldn't. Crazy. Mark, I don't know what would make you shudder more, the name of that channel or what Derek Booth said about the Hornet's Nest. So Biffle did have about a half a second lead at one point. Kyle Busch has closed the gap a bit. Feels like Biffle's a little tight off the, not really off the exit of the corner. It's more in the middle of the corner. It feels like the car wants to push up the track. Track's so wide off the exit of the corner, Biffle's still able to keep a pretty low exit for the most part. But right in the middle of the corner is where Busch is beating him. And it's not that Kyle is really driving it in much deeper than the 60 or getting back into the gas a lot quicker. It's just he's a lot lower and is carrying more speed through the middle of the corner. And comedy, there you go. And we have it all. Detroit won 6-0. They did. But they're also playing right now, and I think they're losing. Last I knew when I got home, they were down 3-0. Playing a doubleheader against the Athletics today. Probably takes 2 minutes of you to think of something. Used to have a spreadsheet, though. Used up all the names. I remember you saying a while back that you had like a long list of names. And surprised you used them all already. When you said you had a long list, I was just expecting you to have like a couple hundred of different names on there. See, Biffle went wide in the middle of 1 and 2. That time, Busch almost gets underneath the 60, but not quite. Has to drop in line behind him. Definitely looks like Kyle's entering the corner a lot wider than the 60 of Biffle, and that might be helping him. Biffle just wants to protect the bottom as much as he can. Ron Hornaday may get to the inside of Kyle Busch. That's the risk with taking that wider angle on corner entry like Busch did. He almost lost second place because of it. He's able to get back down into turn 1, though, in front of the 2. Let's go, A's. Hey, wait a minute. I remember you saying you were an A's fan. Didn't you go to a game recently? I have to go to a Tigers game. I haven't been to one yet this year. Granted, it's super early in the season. I only went to one last year. I wasn't at Comerica, so I definitely got to get to Comerica this year. They play a couple Thursday afternoon games the next few weeks, so I'm probably going to end up going to one of those. I think they play at home this Thursday, then they're at Cleveland next Thursday, and then they're at home against Cleveland the following Thursday. I mean, those would be easy to get to, and I'd still get home to stream. Plenty of time, too. As long as the game doesn't go like 18 innings or something ridiculous like that, then I would be able to get home. But even if it went a few extra innings, I'd easily get home in time. "16 people watching right now, 11 likes already on the stream. Again, like and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. We are very close to 2,000 subs on the channel. I checked when I was on my lunch break, and I was only 44 away, or 64 away, so we're getting close. We're getting very close to more history and another miniature milestone on the channel. Biffle goes a little wide in 1 and 2 again, and again Kyle Busch just can't quite get to the left rear quarter panel of the 60. Biffle going to protect the bottom into turn 1. Busch is going to overdrive the corner. I don't think he had contact from behind by the 2, but nonetheless, he goes a bit wide. And Ron Hornaday may be able to take over second. Derek Crypto, welcome to the stream. Terry Road, welcome as well. Tigers, Red Wings, Packers. Yeah, and Pistons too. University of Michigan Athletics. Usually I only watch college basketball, or yeah, college basketball, college football though. I don't really watch any other college sports or keep up with it. Even though I do know Michigan was in the Frozen Four this year for their men's hockey team. I don't think they won it, though. Longest game in baseball history. Isn't it like 26 innings or something ridiculous like that? Yeah, I was going to say, I know it was over 20. Oh, Biffle in the wall off turn 4. He went wide, and he's going to lose the lead. And second place is Hornaday. Gets around Biffle as well, and that might be the opportunity Hornaday needs to try and get a lap led in this race. It is 26, so I did have it right, if it is. Biffle's getting even tighter in the dirty air, about 35 laps on his tires. Busch and Hornaday pulling away just a bit. Hornaday looking for the lead. Biffle's really hoping the 2 does not lead a lap, and we'll see how aggressive Hornaday gets. Will he put the bumper to Busch, trying to get that lead as soon as he can, just in case Biffle has another run at him. My favorite baseball movie, that's an interesting one. Man, there's so many good ones. Sandlot was a classic when I was a kid. I don't know if that's my favorite. I think Major League's got to be up there. See, I'm more of like, when it comes to movies, I've never, like, I'll watch action movies, but I'm more into like the comedy side of movies. Like a good comedy movie is what I would really enjoy the most. So that's why I'd probably lean towards Major League. Major League 1 and 2, they're both really good, honestly. But, childhood classic, definitely The Sandlot. Another good, funny one would be Benchwarmers, too. Ooh. That one's more for the PG-rated side of things. Little contact between Biffle and Hornaday as Biffle makes the pass on Hornaday for second place. In turns 3 and 4, Hornaday going to drive back underneath him in turn 1. Will he dish the contact back? Oh, maybe a little bit. Biffle blew turn 3. He goes really wide. Hornaday back underneath him again. Battle for second place continues between the two championship leaders. Kyle Busch missed turn 1. Not as bad as Biffle, though. Biffle could not hold the outside that time, and Hornaday really closed on Busch for the lead. The Bad News Bears is a good one, too. Field of Dreams is obviously a really good one, but I'm just more into comedy movies in general. Well, that's going to be close off turn 4. Hornaday will lead his first lap of the race by inches over Kyle Busch. 5 bonus points for the 2 car. That's big. Trying to keep his championship hopes alive as much and as long as he possibly can this season. Just 3 races to go following the conclusion of this one. I don't think I've watched Moneyball from start to finish. I've seen parts of it. And I know the story of it, and I know that team. Biffle trying to side draft the 2 of Hornaday, couldn't do it. Hornaday trying to protect the lead as long as he can. Hornaday trying to make this a tough championship battle. And trying to obviously lead as many laps as possible so he can potentially get 10 bonus points as well. I don't really keep up too much with baseball, like all around the league, to be able to give you guys predictions on like who I think is going to make the playoffs. Because I honestly, outside of how the Tigers are doing this year, I really have no clue who the best team in baseball is right now. I'm not going to lie. And it's kind of like that with most sports. The only sport I kind of pay attention to league-wide is the NFL. And the only reason is because I have a fantasy football team every year. So that kind of keeps me involved with the league a little bit more. I'm like just so in-zoned with NASCAR. Consumed with NASCAR that everything else is just so hard to keep track of. So I just try to keep track of my teams as best as I can. Hornaday keeps getting a good drive off on the outside anytime Biffle can get underneath him. Again, Biffle to the inside of Hornaday in turns 1 and 2. Will he be able to clear him this time? Barely. Hornaday may have gotten out of the gas and let the 60 in front of him to make sure there wasn't going to be any contact. Biffle drives it in deep. He's going to go a bit wide. Kyle Busch looks to the inside. Biffle's in the wall off the exit of turn 4. Biffle just completely missed that corner. Now Kyle Busch leads again at New Hampshire. Hornaday to second. Yankees have the best record at 20-8. Biffle's made a couple of mistakes in the early going. He's gotten into the wall twice now, and both times it's costed him the lead. Great battle at New Hampshire so far. I have not watched the movie 42. I feel like that's one that I definitely should watch, though. I do really like historical and history stuff, too. Something like that would be up my alley, also. Biffle looks low under Hornaday. Clint Boyer going to be in the 2 car in the Busch Series in NASCAR 06, making his rookie season on that side of things. Biffle on the inside of the 2 car again. This time he clears him through turns 1 and 2 with a clean pass. Hornaday sends it into turn 3, gets back underneath the Biff. Biffle almost in the wall, now trying to side draft the 2 car on the front straightaway. A little contact. '61 was a good movie about Mantle and Maris. I think I might have heard of that movie. Definitely haven't seen it. Oh, Busch and Hornaday both go wide. Biffle to the bottom. He's going to get around the 2. Barely. These guys are racing hard with one another right now. Surprised they haven't made more contact than what they already have. Biffle to the inside of Busch off the exit of turn 2. Oh, Busch runs into the side of Biffle. It's going to slow the momentum down to the 60 as they enter into turn 3. Kyle should hold on to the lead. Biffle will maintain in second as Hornaday's behind him in third. 50 laps complete today at New Hampshire. Wondering if it's going to be a one-stop race today. Oh, and Biffle may have chopped Hornaday off there. I think that was more Biffle's fault. Hornaday was there, and it seemed like the 60 kind of came down on top of him in the middle of the corner. And that was just enough that knocked Hornaday back, and Biffle actually benefited from it. At least in the sense that he not only held the 2-car back, but there isn't as much pressure behind him either. And he can still put the pressure on Busch as he didn't lose too much momentum. Here comes Biffle to the inside of the 5 of Busch for the lead. Remember, the Titans is definitely a classic. I'm more into the comedy side of things, though, so I like something like The Longest Yard would probably... As far as just like just a good film, I'd definitely say Remember the Titans would probably be the best football movie, but I'm just more into comedy movies. Personally, I like to get a good laugh. Yeah, the physics in the EA Sports games are pretty good for the most part. Especially considering these games are from 2003, 2004, the better ones, at least in my opinion, of Thunder 04 and NASCAR 05. But, yeah, the Waterboy's up there too. Ah, man, I don't know what's better between the Waterboy or the Longest Yard now that you mention that. I feel like a lot of the top tier, like, the top lines in Waterboy would probably make me say that's better, but I think as a movie as a whole, I'd probably go Longest Yard. But the top liners, though, in Waterboy, I've definitely used on a somewhat regular basis before. Mighty Ducks is a good movie. Contact with Busch on this lap. And the battle for the lead is a little more contact, it looked like. Off turn 4, Biffle pinches the 5-car off. Busch barely keeps it off the wall with these guys making contact 2 corners in a row. Here comes Ron Hornaday on the inside. He's charged back. Biffle to the lead off turn 2, but now the 2 of Hornaday is underneath him. What a battle and what a race at New Hampshire. Biffle drives it in pretty flat, into the corner. Hornaday overdrives turns 3 and 4. Busch to second. Now he may get underneath Biffle for the lead. Biffle's in the wall. Biffle in the wall off of turn number 4, trying to block the 2-car. Into turn 1. And now 4th place is starting to run down the leaders as these guys are just driving sloppy right now. Middle of the opening run of the race. Biffle again, underneath Busch. Biffle will clear Busch. That time it's a clean pass. I think he freaking broke his neck. My Longest Yard reference in today. I think there was some smoke in turns 3 and 4 that last lap. Like there was a near accident somewhere around the racetrack. Not sure exactly where. It surprisingly wasn't with the top 3 the way they've raced. Only wondering what's going on middle of the pack right now also. Oh, Kyle Busch, what just happened? I think he hit the wall going into turn 1. And Ron Hornaday is going to get to second after Busch's mistake. And we have not gotten to the first pit stop of the race yet. I didn't see if they've hit halfway on fuel or not, just because of how zoned I've been in the battle for the lead and just trying to make sure I hit my marks. And I'm not sure if it's going to be a 1 or a 2 stopper. I know in the Cup cars you could go about 100 laps, but the Busch cars I would expect not to go quite as far. Yeah, I'd probably say Happy Gilmore would be my favorite Adam Sandler movie, but Waterboy is probably a close second, and then even a close third right behind that is Billy Madison. Right up there, too. Thinking it's a 2-stopper. That's what I was thinking, too. We'll have to see when Biffle gets to a quarter tank of gas if he didn't already get to a half a tank. Again, if he can make it 100 laps, then it would be a 1-stopper. Last thing he wants is a fuel mileage race, because although he has a comfortable points lead on Hornaday for right now, Hornaday's obviously running pretty good. He's led laps, so he's already got 5 bonus points in this race. Biffle can't afford to wreck, so that's one thing, too. Battling for the lead as hard as he is, he can't afford to crash this race car tonight and let Hornaday cut that points gap down to a very slim margin going into the final 3 races of the season. I can't tell who that is in 4th, but somebody has definitely caught the top 3. Midnight Rider, welcome to the stream. Half gas at lap 53. Thank you for letting me know. So it should be a 1-stop race then. Unless we get a caution in a weird spot. That would be the only way it may not be a 2-stop race. Battle for second still heating up. It's allowed Biffle to gap the 2nd and 3rd place cars just a bit. It's out to about a 4/10 of a second lead through 3 and 4, but now Biffle gets a little tight. Middle of the corner. I do think Biffle's likely going to make an adjustment change of some sort during the first stop of the day, potentially the only one as well, depending on if we get any cautions or not. Top 4 under a blanket at New Hampshire. No lap traffic yet, despite it being just a 1-mile racetrack at the Magic Mile. We'll alternate through the different camera angles for the first time in the race today. Hornaday still hanging on to second for the time being, trying to put pressure back on Greg Biffle again. Biffle continues to hit his marks for right now, and he's going to make it hard on Hornaday. Could drive off on the exit of turn 2 that time as well. Go back to the far chase cam for now. Lap 70, side by side for second place again between Kyle Busch and Ron Hornaday. Busch on the inside and turn 1, Hornaday on the outside, and Busch is going to be clear off the exit of the corner. It's going to allow Biffle to be about a 10th or 2 quicker that last lap. He's able to widen the gap out just a bit. And when the 60 is out in front and hitting his marks on a consistent basis, he's the one to beat. Car is definitely just getting tighter and tighter and tighter as this run carries on. One car is on pit road right now, probably blew an engine, but was able to make it to the pit lane, and we stay green. I did hear about the Mets coming back to win the other night. Scored 7 runs in the 9th inning. It's crazy. Busch had a great corner that time. He really gapped the 2-car of Hornaday and closed quickly to the back of Greg Biffle as well. Oh, and he just sends it into the corner. Busch is in the wall on the outside. He clears out the 60 of Biffle. Hornaday's up to second. Busch is back to 4th. I think that might be Jason Keller, who is in 3rd in the 22 car. Biffle protects the bottom into turn 1. And Keller drives it in deep now into 1 and 2. He gets to the inside of Hornaday for 2nd place. Kyle Busch drove it deep into turn 3. The first chance he had to try to get to the inside of Biffle, he took it. He did not waste any time. Busch got in the wall, though, and that battle, not really a battle, but that move trying to take the lead that quickly when he had a run, but it was just a little too late to try to make that move into the corner, and it did not stick for him. He got into Biffle. We continue to stay green, luckily. That would have been a terrible caution for Biffle. And look at the field now. It's just slowly bunching up. It's just that the longer this run goes, I think the top 3 that were the original top 3 of Biffle, Busch, and Hornaday have just kind of weared their tires out, battling with each other. Now Jason Keller's in it, and there's a couple other cars behind Busch, Hornaday, and Biffle trying to contend as well. Still no lap traffic in this race despite being 76 laps in. Biffle a couple tenths of a second off from his fastest lap of the race that last time by, so he has dropped a little bit of pace. Honestly, 77 laps at New Hampshire, just 2/10 of a second is not bad at all. Probably why he is leading. All 4 tires down on the apron that time through turns 3 and 4 as well. Quarter tank of fuel at lap 79. Biffle goes a bit wide through turns 1 and 2. Kyle Busch gained a lot. He's got to run on Biffle again. Biffle protects the bottom. Busch overdrives turn 3 again. That time he didn't really have a shot to get underneath the Biff, but he definitely overdrove the corner. He does hang on to 2nd this time. Of course, he didn't make any contact, which helped him. It's going to be interesting, too, to see who's going to have the fastest pit stop if we do get to green flag stops, considering the top 6 are all within a couple seconds of the lead after an 81-lap green flag run to start this race off. Right front tire into the yellow now for Biffle. That may make his car even tighter than what it already was getting into the later half of the fuel and tire stint to start this race. Biffle pushing a bit wide off turn 4 again. Still has the lead by about 2 car lengths into turn 1 over Busch. Busch's best corner is probably 1 and 2. He seems to get off turn 2 really, really well, and again he does it. Closes on Biffle. Does he have enough of a run on the back straightaway to make a move on the Biff? Into turn 3. Up the track again, Busch overdrives turn 3. So he's getting off turn 2 really well, but he's carrying so much speed into turn 3 by simply just kind of overdriving the corner and going a little bit too late into the braking zone. Definitely costing himself time, and now Biffle overdrives turn 1, and here comes Busch. Undercutting to the bottom of the racetrack, there's contact on the back straightaway. Busch to the lead in turn 3, Hornaday to second, Biffle's going to get freight trained on the outside now. And he's in the wall. That doesn't help either, now back to 4th, Keller is up to 3rd. And this is as far back as Biffle's been in the running order so far today. I think that's Terry Cook and Bobby Hamilton Jr., the 2 cars behind Biffle in 5th and 6th. Drives it in deep. Gets it to stick down on the apron with all 4 tires. Gets around Keller for 3rd. Kyle Busch leads again at New Hampshire this afternoon. Well, it's an afternoon race, considering the daytime conditions on the racetrack, but it's night racing on a Tuesday night for us in general on NASCAR 05. We still don't know how these guys are going to navigate through lap traffic, because we haven't had to deal with any yet today. And that first lap car is coming up in the next few laps. Kyle Busch may be the first to get to him. Biffle squeezes underneath Ron Hornaday. Looks as if he's going to make the pass and does. Cleanly, Biffle back to 2nd, getting around the 2 car. Kyle Busch goes really wide in turn 3. Really trying to arc the corner off as much as possible. Shane Kirkland in the 86 is the first lap car up ahead. Busch is going to be behind him going into turn 1. Busch is stuck on the outside behind Kirkland. He almost got into the back of him. 3 wide off the exit of turn 2. With the lap car up high, Busch in the middle, Biffle to the bottom. Busch got held up just enough that Biffle had the run. Gets underneath the 5. Gets it to stick on the bottom lane in turns 3 and 4 and clears Busch off of turn 4 to retake the race lead. Looked like Hornaday in 3rd got caught behind the lap car of Kirkland through 3 and 4 and lost a bit of ground to the top 2. We'll definitely be using the total team control to its finest during the full race live streams. Plan on doing a couple field passes as something different these older games going forward. We are nearing pit stops for the first and potentially only time tonight. So we are at lap 89. Third through 6 has really been held up in lap traffic, and I think they're battling each other now. That's allowed Biffle and Busch to pull away from them. That separation they need going into pit stop soon as well. Give them a little bit of buffer room on some other cars, and that's going to mean that the pit stops are going to be even more important for those cars running through 6 if they're going to want to stay with the top 2 and have a shot into the second half of the race if we don't get a yellow. Well, your last name is Booth. It sounds like we've got some cars pitting this time by. Some of the leaders in the top 5 have pulled off. Biffle and Busch still stay on the racetrack to lap 92. Might be a little too early to make it on field at the end of the race for those who are pitting right now. 1/8 of a tank of gas left for Biffle. Needs to get to lap 100. Looked like there was some contact up ahead with some lap cars. Some of them going to be pitting this time in front of him. Kyle Busch lost a lot of ground through 3 and 4 that time. That was a great corner for Biffle. And Busch, I think, just kind of blew turn 3 again, as he's done a lot in the last 10 to 20 laps. Over half a second is the gap right now between first and second. More cars on pit road, this time off turn 4. Kyle Busch is on pit road. So Busch pits at lap 93, coming to lap 94. He may be looking short on one stop. And Greg Biffle in the 60 will continue to lead. I believe you can go 106 on fuel. I really don't want to test that, though. Jimmy Hill may be pitting this time, and that's going to slow Biffle up quite a bit. He had to brake heavily to keep it off the back of Hill on the exit of turn 4. And Kevin Harvick is right behind him. He's one of the cars that have already pit. Biffle overdrives turn 1. And never mind, that's not Harvick. It's one of the generated drivers. Oh, it's Campbell in the 131. Got into the side of Greg Biffle off the exit of turn 2 as they made contact with each other. Campbell drives it deep down to the bottom lane into 3 and 4. And Biffle's still stuck on the outside. And Campbell's on fresher tires right now. Biffle going to try to cross Drew Campbell over in the middle of turns 1 and 2. He does. He clears him off the exit of the corner. Oh. Biffle overdrove it. Little too flat into the corner that time on the older tires, and both the lap cars above him will get around him on the outside. Lap 97. Nearly contact with the lap cars again to the outside of Biffle. Biffle clears them both off the exit of turn 2. 123 car down on the bottom of the racetrack. Just ran into the side of Biffle, then Biffle got hit from behind as well. Bit of a jam session. Biffle caught the wall off turn 4 as well, getting sandwiched. 3 wide at New Hampshire. Biffle was on the outside with nowhere to go. There are a lot of cars on fresh tires around him right now. Oh, contact! Handle did not give him room off of turn number 4. Contact squeezing Biffle into the wall. Biffle just can't get out of harm's way right now. Almost empty on fuel. Lap 99. I definitely don't think we're going to go 106 laps, but should make it just past lap 100. And it should be a one-stop race for Greg Biffle. But for everybody else, though, there are some cars that are still on the track right now. I think the last of the leaders just pitted that time, coming to lap 99. They may have a shot to make it if they can go about 101 laps in the second run. Lap 100 that time by at the line. We'll be halfway this time by officially. We're getting really tight in 1 and 2, almost into the side of the lap car above him. And yeah, there's still cars on the lead lap that are just now entering pit road at lap 100. Those guys should be able to make it. Could shake up the running order if we get a caution-free race today at New Hampshire. Halfway home, Biffle leads. So now we know Biffle will make it on field to the end of the race. He's going to pit this time by. He's the last car in the lead lap that still has to make a stop. Oh, the 107 car coming in as well. Biffle had to brake heavily, almost got into the back of him. Pound of air pressure going into the car for Greg Biffle, and they're also going to loosen it up, taking a half around a wedge out of the car. So an air pressure adjustment, a wedge adjustment coming up for the 4 of Biffle. 4 tires and fuel will be taken for the 60. He's going to be good on fuel to the end of the race. 99 laps to go as of right now. Clean pit stop through the right sides, and out of the left sides go the Charter number 60 team. The only stop of the day, so this is the money stop. Pretty clean one for Biffle. Works his way back up onto the racetrack. Oh, he got squeezed. That was definitely his fault. Probably should have just sat in line behind the 107 car, but he didn't want to wait. So Biffle staying out of the pits about 6 to 7 laps longer than Kyle Busch. Allowed Busch to cycle into the lead. He's about 3.8 seconds ahead of Biffle. Biffle probably lost about half a second of time making the contact with Handel coming off of pit road, trying to gain that extra time on the apron, getting up to speed. Santiago Kid, welcome to the stream. Biffle's actually back in the 7th place position right now, too. I think Ashton Lewis may be for position. Definitely know Jason Keller's for position up ahead in the 22. Oh, Biffle into Lewis. He was going to hop in line behind him. Off the exit of turn 4, he clipped the left rear and nearly turned the 46 car. We stay green. Lewis lost a lot of time. I mean, he's nowhere close to Biffle anymore. Whoops. I mistimed that one. I was just trying to pull in line behind him, and I guess I was alongside of him, and I didn't realize it. Nearly turned Lewis off turn 4. Almost some contact between Jason Keller and the lap car of Ray Westbury on the outside. Terry Cook in line right behind the 22 of Keller. Those guys both for position. Oh, man, big wheel hop. Bottom of the racetrack as Biffle hits something on the apron in turns 3 and 4. Lost a bit of time. Like a pothole. Invisible pothole. Oh, caution's out. Lap 107. Our first yellow of the day. Oh, jeez. Who is that? Is that Tim Fedola? Somebody just ran into the tire barrier at the front of pit road for whatever reason. I think somebody was trying to short pit that maybe was short on fuel to the end of the race, and they missed pit road and hit the tire barrier. Wonder if they hit the invisible pothole just like Biffle did. So Biffle's going to stay out of the pits. No, everybody's pitting, so he's going to pit too. Oh, nope, Bliss stays out. Well, okay, we have some drivers staying out. Everybody in front of Biffle pit, so Biffle pitted with the leaders. It'll be 4 tires and fuel for the 60 team this time. And we have some cars staying out. Some are pitting here. This is going to be interesting following the first caution of the day at lap 107. Tim Fedola smacking the tire barriers at the front of the pit road entrance. I do not plan on singing when I'm in Indy. You guys don't want to hear me sing. I get booed out of there by all 100 and whatever thousand people are going to be there, a couple 100,000. Hornaday beat Biffle off of pit road. I'm not sure how many cars stayed out. So it's going to be interesting to see where Biffle restarts. Looks like the top 3 or 4 stayed out. I don't think too many of them did. Lap cars will line up to the inside of the lead lap cars. Mike Bliss is going to be the leader for the first time today. Green flag back in the air. Biffle making contact with the car underneath him. There's contact in front of him as well. Mark Handel got into Jason Keller, stacking up the outside lane a bit more. Oh boy. First restart of the day. Biffle finds his way back down to the bottom underneath the 37 car. More contact at the outside. David Green has just wrecked Biffle. And, oh, Biffle's up and over. He has flipped in turns 1 and 2. Oh, my goodness. That was a big hit. I don't know how he flipped at New Hampshire, nonetheless. That was an awkward angle, but it looked like he climbed up over the 2 car. After David Green had tried to take it 4 wide at New Hampshire into the corner, and that obviously did not work. Oh my gosh. I didn't think we were going to see a flip today. Heavy damage to Greg Biffle, and he's going to lose all of his track position. And if he would have stayed out of the pits, that wouldn't have happened. There's heavy damage to one car right in front of Biffle. I think it might be Hornaday, but I'm not entirely sure. But somebody has severe damage. Biffle can only pit to repair damage here. Can't take tires. Fuel's obviously good to the end, and we have our second caution of the race. I'll get to the trivia question once we get longer into a green flag run. Again, that caution kind of came out just past halfway. So Biffle's going to restart towards the tail of the lead lap, looking at the DNF. Yeah, we just flipped at New Hampshire. Green flag back in the air. Biffle's going to have to restart 32nd, and how much damage does he have to the restart? Can Biffle make his way through traffic cleanly? And all 4 tires below the apron. Remember, he did make an adjustment during that first stop of the day. Added a pound of air pressure, and we have another caution in turns 1 and 2. Another yellow, our third of the race. And it's the 2 car of Ryan Hornaday, I believe debris off the back of his race car. So Ron Hornaday will bring out caution 3 for debris. Went over half the race without a yellow. Now we've had 3 in a row. I'm waiting on the trivia question until we get spaced apart on the restart. I'm assuming we're going to get another long green flag run in here somewhere, you would think. So Biffle's going to pit for tires. He's going to repair more damage while he's on pit road. He only gained a few positions before the caution came out again. So might as well pit. It's not going to hurt. He still has 2 sets of tires left. He'll have 1 left after this stop. Things getting interesting in the second half of the New England 200 tonight at New Hampshire. And the race pace a bit slowed down just a bit. Tonight's trivia question has to do with our Chase for the Cup season on the Cup Series side of things. Who is the only rookie to win a Cup race on our NASCAR Chase for the Cup custom schedule season for the Nextel Cup Series? Again, you got to think it's a 2004 game. So think of the rookies from 2004. And who is the only driver that was a rookie that has won on the Cup Series side of our season in this game? Green flag back in the air. If we're going to take on a little bit fresher tires, even if it's only a couple laps worth, we'll see what it'll do for him. He only lost a few, well, I guess he lost about 6 spots. He was 29th, a few more got back on the lead lap for the caution. So he actually restarted 35th. And he's 3 wide at the back of the pack off the exit of turn 2 already. Jeff Burton on the outside, and Corey Haynes in the 117 was in the middle. And they were 3 and 4 wide earlier, which is what caused the second caution of the race. It's not Jamie McMurray. Oh, we got trouble off turn 4, the wrecking. Again, that's going to stack the field up. Biffle got into the back of Barry Wilder in the 108 car. Oh, Donnie Hart goes wide. Somebody's slowing this pack up. I wonder if it's Hornaday with all the damage he has. They are nearly 4 wide again on the back straightaway. More contact. 4 wide at New Hampshire. Will they make it off the exit of the corner? Oh, contact! Biffle got up into David Stremme in the 32 car. Major championship implications could be on the line here. Hornaday's missing his entire back bumper cover right now. I don't think it would take much for him to DNF. Man, 3 wide and a little bit more contact off the exit of turn 4. Kyle Busch leads, meanwhile, at the front of the field. He's not in championship contention anymore. Look at all the spots Hornaday's lost. Being involved in that accident. Jeff Gordon was not a rookie in 2004. I did see the answer to tonight's trivia question. Scott Wimmer is the only rookie to win so far on our NASCAR Chase for the Cup 2004 season. Remember, he won virtue of a randomized finishing order at one of the races we DNF'd at. When we DNF'd at the Phoenix Road Course early in the Cup Series season. So Scott Wimmer is the answer to tonight's trivia question. I didn't see who got it first. I think Michael Turner got it first. He's the only rookie to win in our 2004 Cup Series season. Mayfield's not in this game, by the way. Casey Kane's come close a few times. He hasn't won yet. Top 10 in points. Kyle Busch seems to be pulling away at the front of the field. 75 laps to go this time by. We've had 3 cautions in tonight's race at New Hampshire with how everything has really transpired here late. Biffle's got a few lap pressure tires trying to drive through this pack right now. Contact with Hermie Sadler. Busch able to get quite a few laps led in here as well. It's going to help him try to get 10 bonus points on the race today as he still has a shot at 3rd in the point standings. And 2nd, if Hornaday has a really bad finish to the season, he could get up to 2nd still. Probably need Biffle to DNF 3 of the last 4 races if he's going to want a shot at the title, which is likely not going to happen. Although the way things have gone today, I wouldn't be surprised if one of them happens in this race right here. Hornaday's had issues too, though. That's the thing. And both the championship leaders are outside the top 10. But even though they're both outside the top 10, Biffle's still beating Hornaday currently. Kyle Busch is really checking out, though. Tires are going to even out at some point for Biffle. He goes 3 wide to the bottom through 3 and 4. Got held tight off the exit of the corner, has to duck back in line. He'll pull out of line with a deep dive into turn 1 again. Contact above him between the 139 and the 14. Casey Atwood just got ran right up the racetrack, and Biffle drove right underneath both of them. Victory Lane Videos and Productions, welcome to the stream. Mayfield win at Pocono once. I know he won there in 2000. I don't know if he won there more than once or not. I know he's got 5 career Cup wins, but I don't know where they're all at. I know he has a win at Richmond, Pocono. A little contact up ahead inside the top 10. Speaking of which, Biffle is back inside the top 10. Ducks in line behind Jason Keller on the front stretch. 70 laps to go. Still 3.8 seconds off the lead from Kyle Busch, trying to get back into this. 98 in 2000, so he did win there twice. Biffle underneath Dwayne Borland now. 135 car. First career win was at Pocono in '98. Kramer wants me to race as Jeff Gordon. Get a Drive for 5 series going. Biffle 3 wide right now underneath of Kenny Wallace and Ashton Lewis. Might have been a bit of contact between Wallace and Lewis that time. Biffle is back inside the top 5 off of turn 4. 3.3 seconds off the lead with just about 67 laps to go at New Hampshire. 3 cautions all in the second half of this race and all since lap 107. Biffle now to 4th off turn 2. Yeah, again, at the end of this stream, we will take a look at how the voting polls have gone for your guys' votes for who you want me to race as in NASCAR 06 in the Cup Series. So if you have not voted on any of the 5 polls in the community tab, make sure you do so. You have until the end of this race. And then the polls close and we'll open up more polls tomorrow based off of how today's went, as well as the remaining drivers who we have not put into polls yet earlier today. And then we'll know by Thursday afternoon, well, we'll know by the end of Thursday night's stream who I'm going to race as in the Cup Series on NASCAR 06, virtue of you guys, the fans, with your voting. And then after we do the Cup Series, I'll start the Busch Series and then the Truck Series as well. So our first stream is going to end up being the Busch Shootout before the Daytona 500, then for the Cup Series, and then I'll end up running the Truck race at Daytona, then the Busch race at Daytona, and then the Gatorade Duel and the Daytona 500 in the same day when we get to the Cup Series. So that's the plan for NASCAR 06 when we do get that started. Having a little speed weeks. Speed weeks in May. The month of May is usually meaning the Indy 500's coming up, but I guess on the channel this year and this month it means that the Daytona 500's coming up, at least for us on NASCAR 06. And I did see a comment, by the way, in the comment section that, yeah, Biffle has a shot to clinch the championship in the next race if Hornaday doesn't have a good finish and Biffle could get a good point stay to the end of this race. Biffle's rallied up to 3rd. We saw Hornaday 19th on that last restart, and he was missing a bumper cover that fell off during the last yellow, which brought out the debris caution. So he's got major damage to his car. Biffle does have damage to his, but obviously it isn't hurting him as much. I think him being able to take tires during that 3rd yellow definitely helped. Kind of level the playing field a bit. The community tab. So if you click on my channel, there's different tabs like videos, home, playlists, and then there's a tab that says community. Click on that, and then there's polls in there. You can also set your notification bell on your on the channel icon. You can set the notification bell to posts and videos. Post streams and videos, so that way you can get all the posts that I put up during the week as well, whether it's streaming schedule or in this case all the polls for voting for NASCAR 06. So again, make sure to vote because we only have about 60 laps left and then those voting polls close. I've not seen them since my last break at work at 2:30, and I know 2 of them are really close of the 5. I also saw on the one poll there was like 29 votes at one point, and Kevin Harvick had 0% of the votes. I just kind of found that funny. I was like, wow, nobody voted for Harvick out of like 29 people on the one poll up to that point. Out of 5 options. Like, alright, I guess nobody wants me to race as Kevin Harvick. Oh, Biffle! In the wall after stuffing J.J. Yaley in there, passing him for 2nd place off turn 4. Biffle thought he had him clear. He did not. Thought NASCAR 6 doesn't have non-point. I mean, I could check. I might have to check in on that. I do have the game now. It actually came yesterday. Wow, Yaley just passed Biffle on the outside off turn 2. A little lack of concentration for Biffle, but that was a great move by Yaley. Biffle battles back to the bottom, though, in turns 1 and 2. That's the problem, though. Yaley didn't complete the pass. Still side by side into 3. Yaley got off turn 4 well on the outside last lap, but this lap, Biffle with the advantage down low will clear Yaley. 3.5 seconds off the lead in second place right now with 57 laps to go. Biffle's only gained 0.3 of a second on Kyle Busch in about 10 laps. He's going to need to up the pace if he's going to want a shot to win this one. Unless we get another caution. I wouldn't doubt it. We've had 3 of them. Well, they all kind of came out back to back to back. And it took Tim Fito running into the tire barriers at the front of the pit road to bring out the first one. And the field was getting spaced out after green flag pit stops. Everybody's good on fuel to the end. Even those who did not pit the second time during any of those cautions, just with all the yellows we have gotten, should have enough. Oh, that's strange. You can't get access to the community tab? Should be able to on your phone. If you have to go on your phone to do it. I thought you just had access to it on anything. That's interesting. Busch a little bit quicker than Biffle that last lap as well. Kyle's so far ahead that no pressure on him. That's where he's running his best laps of the race. Biffle about a 10th quicker that last lap, but again, he's got to be quicker than that, though, if he's going to catch Busch. Well, he was 0.2 of a second quicker this lap. 28.501. Fastest lap of the race is 28.380, but that was before all the damage during the very first fuel and tire stint of the race, probably when he had clean air and was leading as well. Well, I can't really add your vote to the total because there's so many votes. Like, there was one poll that had, like, over 50 votes, so it'd be hard to get a percentage of it when you have, like, you know, 5 different options per poll. So you'd have to actually be able to vote to be able to, for me to calculate it in. Be too hard to do all the math. Because it would add a percentile for Gordon, but then it would also decrease it then for everybody else. And then based off of how many votes there are, and I couldn't do that. You have to actually place a vote. So that way YouTube could do all the percentages for me. I could do simple math, and I could do math, and I'd say I'm pretty good at math, but that would be a little strenuous. That, and if somebody else has the same issue, then I have to do it for them, and then somebody else, it wouldn't be fair. It'd be even harder on myself. .49 laps to go. Biffle's only about 2.8 seconds off the lead into turn 1 now. And he's pulled away from JJ Yaley as there's no more battle for second going on currently. Oh, man. Might have to pause for a second. I got a sneeze coming. Oh, man. Mayday. I'll be right back. Okay, we're good. I hate allergies so bad. I was fine until I went to the golf course after work today, and a lot of pollen out there. Alright, back to racing. I hate pausing in the middle of the corner. Always messes me up. About a tenth quicker than Busch that last lap. Bill Elliott's NASCAR challenge, you talking about the Winston Million? I mean, I don't really do videos like that on the channel. I think there is a video on it already. Didn't Slap Shoes do a video on that? On the Winston Million? No, the video game. What? It's a video game. I've never heard of it. Yeah, most of the channel's premises and basis is on just commentary on the channel. Live realistic commentary. NASCAR, of course. I do think Kyle Busch is going to catch lap traffic before the end of the race, too. That's definitely going to help him also. Help Biffle, at least, also. Because Busch struggled in lap traffic earlier in the day. That's how Biffle was able to take the lead back away from him then. And he was much closer. So he's going to have to still gain some time leading up to it. I'm not sure that the setup he has in the car now is any better or worse than the setup he had earlier. Again, the first pit stop of the day of the three he's made because of all the cautions now, but the very first one he made an adjustment, a couple of them, dropped the wedge a half a round to try and help loosen it up, and then also added a pound of air pressure from 23 psi to 24, all in the hopes of trying to loosen the car up on the longer run because he was getting a little tight in the middle off as the run got later and later and later. Pitted for fuel and tires during the first yellow, and then pitted during the third yellow as well for fresher tires. Those tires have probably evened out by now. He probably had about 5 to 10 lap fresher tires, but we're more than 30 laps into the run. That it's definitely evened out between Busch and Biffle, and Biffle really didn't close on Busch all that much, from 3.8 seconds off the lead to about 2.4. So he is closing. But these last 2 to 3 laps, though, Busch and Biffle have been even again. On the 1991 Super Nintendo. I had no clue that was even a game, to be completely honest. We play NASCAR video games on the channel, but it's all about the live realistic commentary. I don't really talk about games unless like you guys bring it up in the chat and ask about it or something like that. And the oldest NASCAR game I've ever played was the very first one I ever played, which would have been NASCAR Thunder 2002. So each of the last 6 or 7 laps, pretty even between Biffle and Busch. 39 laps to go. Does Biffle have a shot at him? Busch still not into the lap traffic yet. Biffle about 0.2 of a second quicker that last lap. He really picked his pace up. I think Busch just lost time, actually, because Biffle's lap was about 0.3 of a second slower than the lap before that when he didn't gain any time. Trying to hug as low of an exit as possible. Okay, we'll see when Busch gets into lap traffic. That was a deep dive into 3 for Biffle. He's really pushing hard right now. Really wants to win this race, especially if Hornaday's still outside the top 10 like he was on the restart. Biffle jumped up about 1/10 compared to the lap before. Almost exactly. Kyle Busch is in lap traffic right now. The lead is down to just 2 seconds off turn 2 with 37 laps to go. Biffle involved in caution number 2. Got a third yellow with the debris. Pitted for tires, helped him get through most of the traffic. Now trying to run down Kyle Busch in the late stage. Busch is in lap traffic. Biffle still has to catch a lap car during this run. JJ Yaley likely still back in 3rd place, but it's pretty far off the lead right now. We saw the battling for the lead earlier brought a few more cars into it, so I wouldn't doubt that Biffle and Busch could race each other, that somebody else could potentially catch up like Yaley, or maybe even somebody else who's 4th on back. But it's a lot bigger gap for those guys to try and catch. Lap traffic, again, is likely going to have to dictate that as well. Derek Cope win an Xfinity race at New Hampshire? I have no clue. I don't really know too much about New Hampshire like in the 90s, to be completely honest. I was born in 99 too, though, so that's a large reason why. I know NASCAR history, but not to a T with everything. Got a little loose over driving 3 and 4 just to get around his first lap car. He's 1.6 seconds off the lead to the inside of Lance Brantley into turn 1. One lap car goes way up the racetrack and into the wall, further back off the exit of turn 2. He's more towards the middle of the corner when he did get into the wall after overdriving the entry. Not sure how many lap cars are between the top 2 right now. Looks like at least 3, maybe 4. Busch is side by side with his last one, and then he'll have a little bit more clean air in front of him as he has about a 1.2 second lead over Biffle. Biffle's closing lap traffic for now. Now Biffle's still got to get through a few more drivers while Busch has clean air. And 2 of them are side by side behind Busch right now. Ray Westbury and whoever he's on the inside of. Can't tell from back here. Biffle drives it in deep into 3. Looks like Donnie Hart, perhaps. No, Al Wiggins. So Wiggins and Westbury, the 2 cars in front of Biffle. Wiggins to the inside of Westbury. Biffle has to go 3 wide under both of them. Off the exit of turn 2. Clears them both. Clean pass. 1 second off the race lead. And no more lap cars between the top 2. 30 laps to go at New Hampshire this time by. Greg Biffle, after being involved in caution number 2, is trying to come back and win this race. And trying to put up a big points effort to pull away from Hornaday more in the championship. Hornaday led laps earlier, so has Biffle. I would think Busch is probably going to go on to lead the most laps by the end of this race, because he's led quite a few in the second half of this race. Especially with Biffle losing all that track position. He's back as far as 35th. Though he had fresher tires on the last restart because he did pit for tires during caution number 3. He's able to repair a bit more damage as well. About a 10th quicker that last lap for Biffle than Busch. I have to say, Biffle definitely got through the lap cars quicker than the 5. 10th quicker through 1 and 2 alone that time as well. And the closer he gets, that's the more and more pressure he is going to put on Busch and try to force him into a mistake. Biffle 0.2 of a second quicker than Busch that last lap, a 10th in each corner. And this is where maybe that adjustment change earlier in the race could help the car on the longer run as well. Because that's where he was struggling with being very tight. That opening fuel and tire stint to start the race before that green flag stop at lap 102, well, 101 when he pit. Alternate through the different camera angles one final time in today's race over the next 4 laps, then we'll go back to the far chase cam for the remainder of this one. Gonna get a good look at Biffle closing in on Busch. And off of turn 4, Biffle's within about 3 car lengths of Kyle Busch on the front straightaway. Biffle closes on Busch through 3 and 4 again. Looks like Luke Nixon's going to be the next lap car ahead of Kyle when he gets there. Oh, Kyle went wide in turns 1 and 2, trying to arc the corner off, but you can see how much Biffle gained in the middle of the corner. And is all over the back of the 5 on the back straightaway. 24 laps to go, this time by to the line. Biffle deep into turn 3. He's underneath Kyle Busch for the lead. Side by side on the front straightaway between Greg Biffle and Kyle Busch. I think by inches Biffle led that lap on the inside. Has the advantage down low into turn 1, and he has cleared Kyle Busch off turn 2 for the lead. Biffle has finally ran down Busch from 3.8 seconds back. It took till 24 to go, but he has the lead again and trying to hang on. Can he continue to pull away, or can Kyle Busch keep the pressure on? Also, who's going to get through the lap traffic better? Biffle's capping Busch. He's got about a half a second on him already. But now with Biffle as the leader, he's going to catch his first lap cars while leading the race during this current green flag run. Underneath the 168 of Craig Miller off turn 2, ducks in line behind him. Did get around the 152 car through turns 1 and 2. And I'll pass Miller through 3 and 4. Staying wide, Kyle Busch gets around the 152, but he's got another lap car between himself and Biffle. $20 laps to go at New Hampshire for Greg Biffle. Looking for his 18th win of the Busch Series season. And looking to go back-to-back once again this season as well. Just over a 1 second lead on Kyle Busch into turn 3. We're coming to 19 laps to go this time by. Biffle is pulling away. That's one thing he has consistently done today, and that is get through the lap traffic better than anybody else in the field. That has definitely dictated the finish of this race. Biffle may have caught him without lap traffic. It was going to be a whole heck of a lot tougher, though. But they definitely put a little bit of ease for Biffle as he continues to get through the lap traffic better and better than Busch and everybody else. Now he just needs it to stay clean and stay green, as we saw some contact with some lap cars up ahead going into turn 3. Don't need another wreck, and we definitely don't need it in front of Greg Biffle to potentially have him involved again. Survived a first caution earlier. He's pulling away right now. I think those adjustments have definitely helped the long run speed in the 60 as well. So he gets around Chapman, he's underneath Holmes, and then Donnie Hart will be the next car. Wow, look at how quickly he's pulled away from Busch. He just ran a 28.398. He's barely ran into 28.3s all day long in general. Clears Wilder off the exit of turn 2. 16 to go, a 2.3 second lead for Biffle. Oh, we got trouble! Turns 1 and 2, but we stay green. There's some smoke. Saw somebody get into the wall up ahead. Oh my goodness, that could have been a terrible timing caution for Greg Biffle, but again, we continue to stay green. No yellow for that. Whoever it was. Oh, there's more contact up ahead. Those two are upset with each other, whoever it is. So next 2 cars in front of Biffle. He's got a 2.8 second lead with 15 laps to go, and he does not need a caution, especially in front of him, like we mentioned. Trying to extend the championship lead over Ron Hornaday. And potentially clinching the championship tomorrow night. More contact up ahead. I don't know who that is, but Biffle's hoping they stop sometime soon. Last couple cars on the lead lap potentially are the ones battling with one another. It's like the 106 of Carl Richards, and I'm not sure who the car in front of him was that he was making contact with on a repeated basis. $13 to go. Busch a couple tenths quicker those last couple laps, so I think Biffle's built up enough of a lead. They should be alright. At least I think. We're just going to have to be a little quicker than that. Couple lap cars in front of Biffle. A little bit of gap, and then a couple more lap cars. Stayed extremely low down on the bottom of the track, trying to stay away from the lap cars who were on his outside there. The inside of Richards. Sorry, that's Wally Renshaw. I think Richards is the 106 car in neither the Cup Series or the Truck Series. My bad on that one. Biffle's going to put him a lap down. 10 laps to go at the line for Biffle. About a 2.3 second lead. Kyle Busch trying to run him down. He's closing just a bit. Biffle's starting to get a little tight this point in the run, but he's still holding pretty low exits to these corners. Trey Murray in the 113 car. Next driver to go a lap down. Oh, Biffle did not clear him. Thought he might have off of turn 4. He drove it in really deep and got it to stick with all 4 tires down on the apron of the racetrack. Does it again. That time he clears him. Murray's going to try to cross over Biffle through 3 and 4. And clears him right back. 8 laps to go. Murray kind of holding up Biffle a little bit. The lead's down to 1.1 seconds now off of turn number 2. Hopefully that's the last of Murray in the 103 car. $7 to go. Clean air in front of Biffle. Murray is still fighting. He's going to get back underneath of Biffle again through turns 1 and 2. Biffle was getting through the lap traffic a lot better than everybody else. Not so much anymore. Murray, all 4 tires down on the apron, trying to get the car to stick. The 106 car just went way up the racetrack. Might allow for an easy pass for Kyle Busch. He may have got caught behind him off the exit of turn 4. And it sounds like Greg Biffle has just clinched the most laps led in tonight's race. So Biffle has clinched the most laps led with just 6 laps to go. Thought Busch might have been able to get the most laps led, but I guess Biffle caught him at the right time and he was just able to do it. And Murray continues to race Greg Biffle. Hasn't cleared him. Now he has at the start-finish line. 5 laps to go. Biffle again gets around Murray. He's just hoping Murray stays behind him at this point. Biffle continues to make clean passes on him, but Murray just drives it in deep in turn 3 every time he continues to get back around Biffle. Contact with some lap cars up ahead as well. Murray again looking low underneath Biffle. Oh, Biffle back in the gas too soon. He's in the wall off turn 4. That was a big mistake. And Kyle Busch is there into turn 1. And Biffle finds himself behind Murray after overdriving the corner too. Looks like Kyle Busch is stuck on the outside of a lap car as well. Somehow got back underneath. Biffle drives it in deep. Into turns 3 and 4. Trying to get around Murray. Slides up in front of him. Clear off the exit of turn 4. 3 laps to go at New Hampshire this time. Behind business. Picked up late. The 106 car now of Renshaw gets underneath Biffle. And that opens the door up for Kyle Busch to the bottom of the racetrack. And Busch is trying to get there. Biffle's going to close the door. Into turns 1 and 2. Biffle flatlines it into the corner, trying to outbrake Kyle Busch. It's going to allow Busch to beat him back to the gas off turn 4. And again, Busch looks low. Biffle with a block 2 to go at the line. Biffle blocking all over the place, trying to keep the 5 car behind him. Biffle goes wide. Busch to the lead off turn 2. Lap traffic has costed Greg Biffle the lead. Biffle sends it into turns 3 and 4. He slides the tires. Busch holds on off 4 and gets a good drive off. White flag, 1 lap to go for Kyle Busch. And it is a mile away, now less than that, from his 2nd win of the season. Biffle gains a bit more through 1 and 2. No lap cars are going to get in the way this time. Biffle's going to send it on the bottom of the racetrack. Deep into the corner, he slides the tires underneath Busch off the exit of turn 4. And Kyle Busch is going to hang on to win at New Hampshire. And Biffle again cracks the wall up turn 4, losing even more time to the checkered flag. Kyle Busch rallies late to win at the Magic Mile. His 2nd win of the season. I didn't know if that was possible, and I guess it was. Man, Wally Renshaw and Trey Murray just costed Greg Biffle the race, battling him to desperately try to stay in the lead lap there at the end. And even J.J. Yaley only finished 1.4 seconds off the lead. Two-tenths of a second margin of victory. Kyle Busch, for about 2.8 seconds off the lead, was able to rally in the final, what, really like 8 laps, 9 laps he caught us? At least Biffle led the most laps before Busch took the lead again, but man, that's a stinger for Biffle. Busch deserved it, though. I mean, he ran him down. Lap traffic definitely helped Busch, but it was helping Biffle all race until those final 9 laps. And then they just got a little more racy with Biffle. And then by the time Busch caught him, Biffle just couldn't get the turn to the bottom of the track. He was tight like he was in the beginning of the race. 86 laps left for Kyle Busch en road to his 2nd win of the season. Greg Biffle leads 97 of the 200 laps finishes second, also gets 10 bonus points, leading the most laps. That will be a 180-point day for Greg Biffle. J.J. Yaley finishes third with no laps led. Ashton Lewis fourth. Kenny Wallace rounds out the top 5. He led 2 laps. David Stremme sixth. David Green seventh. Jeff Burton eighth. Ninth was Hermie Sadler. Ron Hornaday came back to finish inside the top 10. So Hornaday, he got 5 laps led earlier in the race. He was able to finish at least in the top 10, minimize the damage at least a little bit. You're having major damage from that second incident, as well as Biffle, way more than Biffle even had. His rear bumper cover came off the race car as well, under debris caution, which was the third yellow of the race. With 5 bonus points, he finished 10th. That's a good points day for Hornaday. He will lose points to Biffle, but it's going to be a lot harder for Biffle to clinch the championship tomorrow night. Not only not getting the win, but Hornaday coming back, because he was 19th on that last restart with about, what, a little under 80 laps to go. Just over 75 laps left, about 77, 78 to go. He was barely hanging inside the top 20, but he came back just as well. Let's see. 25 cars finish on the lead lap, and yeah, Wally Renshaw and Trey Murray, they were both a lap down at the end of the race, but they were trying to hold on to the lead lap as well as battle for position for 26th. And those two definitely costed Biffle a lot of time there in those closing 9 laps. And then when he finally got around him, the bad part is Biffle overdrove the corner trying to clear him, and that's how Kyle Busch got to the inside. Sean Batson and Tim Fido were the only drivers who DNF'd today. Fido crashed out at lap, well, he was a couple laps down, I guess, then. But it was at lap 107 where the caution came out. Must have been 1 lap down. But he hit the tire barrier at the front of the pit road entrance, knocked him out of the race, and then Sean Batson blew an engine at lap 67, in the first half of today's race, well before the first caution. So a couple things to look out here for. We'll check out the points standings, and then after we check out the points going into tomorrow night's race, we'll check out those polls from earlier today on the community tab. Tomorrow's race will be at the Lowe's Motor Speedway for the running of the CarQuest Auto Parts 300, of course now known as Charlotte. But we'll be racing in Concord tomorrow night for a 200-lap race. 3 races to go in the Busch Series season. If we clinch the championship early, that's the closer we move on to NASCAR 06, but it was a tough, gutted-out second-place finish tonight for Greg Biffle. He did get the most laps led in, but unfortunately, Busch caught him there late. Viva Pella 93, welcome to the stream. Wow, what it was. I mean, it was a great finish, but I wish I could have held on at the same time. Dang lap traffic, man. Had to make it interesting. I was hoping a caution was going to come out with all those lap cars crash each other. Not like before we got within the window to end the race, but when Busch was catching us. And he got underneath us, or he was right behind us there for a lap before getting around us with 2 to go. I was hoping a caution came out that would end the race, but it didn't happen. 256-point lead for Greg Biffle going into the next race. He has to win or at least be ahead by 312 points. Biffle does have the tiebreaker for the most wins on the season with 17, so if it is a 312-point lead at the end of the next race, then Biffle will clinch the championship. If it is not a 312-point lead following Charlotte tomorrow night, then we will have to race the second to last race of the season and try to clinch the championship then. So Hornaday still has a shot at it, but he does lose more points today, and his chances of winning are definitely decreasing. Denny GT2 Gaming, welcome to the stream as well. So those are the point standings. Now it's time to look at the poll for the voting that you guys had put on the channel. And I will get that up real quick. Bring those polls up from earlier. I'll show you guys who you voted for NASCAR 06 through today's polls. Again, more polls over the next couple days yet to decide who I'm going to race as on NASCAR 06 on the Cup Series, Busch Series, and Truck Series side. You guys get to vote for all of them. So as soon as I pull it up, the voting will be locked. Alrighty. To the community tab. Away! Alright, so these are the drivers you... Wow, a lot of votes. Thank you, everybody, for voting. We'll start off with the very first one here. 61 votes. Asked you guys which Roush driver that you wanted me to race as. Carl Edwards with 46% of the votes was the winner. Mark Martin was second with 21%. Matt Kenseth was third with 18%. And Kurt Busch had 15%, was fourth. So Carl Edwards will be the Roush driver that I could potentially race as. He'll be going into the next round of the voting polls. Joining Carl Edwards from Hendrick Motorsports will be Jeff Gordon, beating out Brian Vickers. 59% for Gordon, a landslide victory there. 24% for Kyle Busch, and then Brian Vickers was at 18%. 80 votes in that poll. 67 votes in the next Chevrolet poll. Between the DEI Chevrolets and the RCR Chevrolets, Dale Jr. will win at 55% over Martin Truex Jr. at 21%. I was looking at that earlier, and I think Truex was at like 30 and Jr. was at 35. It was really close when I was on my lunch break, but obviously time has passed since then, and Dale Jr. has really won in a landslide at the end of it. Kevin Harvick was at 0 at one point. He ended up finishing second to last. He did get ahead of Michael Waltrip there late, but only 9% of the votes for him, 10% for Jeff Burton, and 4% for Michael Waltrip. 81 votes on the Dodge drivers that I had you guys vote for. It was between the Everhand Dodges and the Chip Ganassi Racing Dodges. Casey Kane won in a landslide there at 56%, so he'll also be moving on to join Dale Jr., Jeff Gordon, and Carl Edwards in tomorrow's poll. Jeremy Mayfield ended up at 19% with the number 19 car, coincidentally there. Sterling Marlin ends up at 14%, only 2% for Casey Mears, and Jamie McMurray at 10%. So Casey Kane could be a potential driver we could race as in NASCAR 06. And then also 89 votes in the next Dodge poll. Rusty Wallace, in his final season, by the way, would be the NASCAR 06 gameplay. So last chance for me to race as Rusty Wallace in the older NASCAR video games. We have not raced as him yet, and maybe a chance to win a title in his final season. 46%. He'll be joining Casey Kane, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Jeff Gordon, and Carl Edwards, who will all be in one poll tomorrow. And then there will also be 3 more polls tomorrow of the other drivers who have not been in a poll today. So the winner of the 3 polls that have not been in a poll yet, and then the winner, well, I guess those 3 will end up being in a poll of their own on Thursday. And then Thursday's poll will come down to just 2 drivers in the second half of the day leading up to the stream. Maybe even during the stream. I might have that championship poll during the stream, and I'll have it running throughout, so. Alrighty. Thank you, everybody, for watching. That's going to wrap it up for tonight on the channel. Let me get my face back on here before I say goodbye. There we go. Hello, everybody. All right. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in today. Like and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. I'll see you guys tomorrow night. We'll be running the Busch Series race at Charlotte starting at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, roughly. So, there we go. How about that? See you guys tomorrow night at 8. We'll be racing at Charlotte. Chance to win the championship in the Busch Series. Will it be the final Busch Series race on NASCAR 05? We'll have to wait and see.